Ready for a new ride? Let Canyon View Credit Union get you road tripping this summer. Finance your next vehicle with Canyon View Credit Union, and you will enjoy no payments for 90 days, even if you buy something used. Visit canyonviewcu.com to get pre-approved so you know exactly what you can afford, you'll have confidence at the dealership, and you won't have to guess at your payment amounts. Apply today at canyonviewcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply. Today on CityCast Salt Lake, should Utah adopt permanent daylight savings time? Spoiler alert, we already did. Plus, our state's future in agritourism, picks of the week, and then a special segment just for our members about where to see the Odyssey this weekend and why Utah doesn't have a 70-millimeter theater. I'm Ali Vallarta. I'm here with newsletter editor Terina Ria. Good morning.
Morning, Ali.
And CityCast Salt Lake contributor Chandler Rosenberg. Hey, Chan.
Hi.
Good to be with you both. Before we get into it, I need to tell you, dear listener, about 801 Day. If you are new here, this is a holiday that we invented on this team and we take very seriously.
Yes.
Thousands of you joined us last year for our 801 Day celebration. So 801, August 1st. I'll give you 5 seconds to think that through. This is like, for us, really a celebration of all the things that make the 801 great. We love our area code. We love our city and our county. And since we have the privilege of having an area code day, August 1st, we might as well go hard. So join us for 801 Day presented by Rocky Mountain Power on Saturday, August 1st from 5 to 9 p.m. at the Milk Block.
801 Day is the party of the year. I had a ball last year. It was like the only day of the year that I did go out and party, but it's great.
That's major. Yeah, we're so excited. This year is going to be huge. Like literally, we're presented by Rocky Mountain Power. I feel like we made it.
Can you get any bigger than that?
Honestly. Honestly.
And, this year we're having the big unveiling of the new Out of the Blue mural. Our beloved 9th and 9th whale is getting a makeover, and we're unveiling it at 801 Day. So that's huge.
Yes. The artwork, we're not hauling the whale down the 9 line to the Milk Block.
Maybe next year, though. That could be.
We will be unveiling. It'll be the city's huge unveil of the new artwork for the whale mural Out of the Blue. So that's going to be a real countdown. It's the first place that anyone will be able to see that artwork. So if you are in the whale cult, the Church of the Whale, you'll definitely need to be there so that you can get information and start revising all of your images. So yeah, it'll be fun. There's going to be like tons of food vendors. Neighbors is doing a beer garden. It's going to be just an unbelievably good time. Totally family friendly. Bring everyone. Bring your well-behaved dogs. We would love if you RSVP'd so we can make sure our vendors know how much stuff to bring down. And there's a link in the show notes where you can do that. So we'll see you at 801 Day presented by Rocky Mountain Power, Saturday, August 1st. Save the date, 5 to 9 p.m. at the Milk Block on 900 South, which if you don't know what the Milk Block is, it's where the co-op is, the new food co-op. Okay, let's get into the news of the week. This is national news, but it would have a big impact on our state and everyone, which is permanent daylight savings time, passing the House, headed to the Senate. Terina, you dug into this a little bit. What's the scoop here?
Well, first I had to look up what the difference between daylight savings time, what that even means.
Me every year. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we do it twice a year. We put our clocks forward and back, spring forward, fall back. And so daylight saving time is that spring forward when we put the clocks forward. And winter time is that standard time. So this would mean daylight saving time would be permanent. So we would have darker winter mornings. The latest sunrise in Utah would push close to 9 a.m. And then that would mean the sun would set later in the evening. So we would get a little extra sun after we get out of work. So, this bill still has to clear the Senate. So if this goes through, it doesn't necessarily mean that each state has to adopt it. But in Utah specifically, our lawmakers passed a bill in 2020 that says we will make the switch if, one, Congress gives the green light, which they're trying to do, and then two, at least 4 other Western states do the same. So we got to kind of wait on our neighbors to see if they are also down to do this.
Oh, I didn't know about that caveat of the 4 other states.
I love that regionalist approach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Real collaboration.
It's so communal. Yeah. So I don't know. Personally, for me, this is great news. I'm solidly an afternoon gal. So I really appreciate some extra sun at night in the winter. I get so sad. But what do you two think of this? I know, Ali, you are excited. You want this to happen.
I can't tell.
Really?
I fear commitment and change. And so I'm like, I think I want it, but I don't know if I want permanent standard time or permanent daylight savings time. I don't know if I want lighter mornings, darker evenings, or darker mornings, lighter evenings. I can't decide. It really does depend on the season, which makes me think that perhaps I want to keep changing the clock.
Maybe keep it. I know that's actually such a good point, because a lot of sleep experts and like medical organizations, they argue that permanent standard time would actually be better because it lines our clocks up more closely with the sun. And so therefore our circadian rhythms. And so that has a better impact on our health. Yeah. So everyone is torn, I feel like, on what the right answer is.
Yeah, I'm pretty up and at 'em in the morning. And I actually love a dark morning. There was a time when I was accidentally waking up at like 4 or 5 a.m. and I could do my best thinking and work because I just feel like it's like just me. I'm not accountable to anyone until the sun comes up.
Right. Sattvic hours.
Yeah. So I don't think I would mind that. Sunnier afternoons in the winter sounds nice. Yeah. When I first heard about this, I thought it was just us. And I was like, well, that'll be a total mess if it's Utah versus the rest of the country. But if everyone does it, sure.
Yeah, because that's how it is right now with Arizona and Hawaii. They currently have permanent standard time. And so it's kind of a mess.
And it's always like, okay, are they with us? Are they not with us right now? Yeah.
Right.
So I don't want that.
No. I used to work on the Navajo Nation, and it was really hard trying to plan meetings with people who were in Arizona half the year because inevitably we'd show up late or early, or it was just like I think we all have to get on the same page for sure. Right. Mm-hmm. I thought it was interesting, like when in 2020, when Utah passed this like trigger law, which we often associate with like abortion bans, but is also true for daylight savings.
We're going to get ahead of this one.
So serious.
There was some polling in the Deseret News, and it found that 81% of Utah voters want to stop changing the clocks. So they weren't like specific to which we adopt, but they were like, pick one.
Can we just pick one?
And let's stick with it.
Yeah. We're done with the back and forth.
Right.
Yeah.
Done with the back and forth. 81% of us. And I'm like, wow, a bipartisan issue.
Amazing.
But the complaint that I think we heard then and we're hearing now about darker mornings is kids going to school. It's like kids out walking the streets, trying to catch the bus on their bikes in the dark.
Then the other issue is I feel like we've been talking about, we need to make schools later anyways. Like, hasn't that been shown to be better for kids, is changing the start time to be later? So if you do this, let the kids sleep a little bit and then problem solved.
Yeah.
Start school
I like
later.
that. Yeah, the piece of this that I also think is really interesting is the like industry piece, because it's notable to me that this bill was introduced in the U.S. House by a man named Vern Buchanan, who is a close enemy of mine. Oh. And he is the representative from my hometown in Florida.
No. What has he done to you?
Well, one thing he did was outside his office in my hometown, he installed this like giant metal statue that reflected the sun all day into the eyes of everyone else who works downtown. That's just like one example.
Okay, he literally burned you.
He's trying to control the sun. Yeah.
Villain. He was named the most corrupt member of Congress. Anyway, but like in Florida, tourism will benefit so greatly from a delayed sunset. Like that's the moneymaker, right? You sell more ice cream, you sell more cocktails, you've got people out on the patio longer. Like it makes total sense. Out here, what is our tourism industry? Well, it's Utah's Red Rock Country, but it's also ski
resorts.
Yeah.
And like the ski resorts also benefit, I think, from later hours. Like that means they don't have to close at 4, they can close the lift at 5, whatever. But I guess the I can't figure out, no matter how I try, where the resorts land on this, because you would think on one hand they want people skiing later, but I think a darker morning and a later opening is also a challenge for them because they do a lot of like avalanche mitigation in the mornings. Also, the operating costs to run the lift for another hour, like, do the prices go up? That's a lot of electricity.
I don't know. I was seeing like conflicting information online because people were talking about that they usually do the avalanche control at dawn, and so like if it's darker when they're doing that, it presents more hazards to that process because they're literally just making it like exploding TNT, and that's the avalanche control. So it does present some hazards there.
Bottom line for me is I wish we were not determining how we measure time based on industry priorities. Somebody told me once that until the railroads existed, there were no time zones. It was just like you go outside whenever the sun is right above your head, that's noon. And everywhere's different. But then when the railroads came, they had to standardize it for schedules. And so that's when everything changed. And that haunts me.
Tell that to the beehive state.
No kidding. I remember sitting in like a post-modernity class in college and my professor just opening every single class by saying, modernity is the clock tower. Like, then I'm like, that is drilled in my head. Modernity is the clock tower.
No, I'm trying to like get rid of time in general as a concept.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, new law. Just
I don't know how this all fits into that, but.
All right. Well, with that, let's move on.
Go back to the sundial.
Closing that conversation.
And we're out of time.
Yeah.
It is officially too hot to spend all day outside. Perfect weather for taking up a new hobby. Salt Lake Society makes sewing fun and accessible. With a variety of fabrics, notions, patterns, they have everything you need for your next project in a gorgeous new warehouse space in Salt Lake City's Granary District. One of my favorite things about a new hobby is opening up my world to all these new people. Plug into a community of makers by taking a beginner class or joining Society on their Summertime Makers backpacking trip. So fun! The Society backpacking trips are July 31st through August 2nd or August 28th through 30th and are totally free to join. Learn something new and make new friends at Salt Lake Society. You can find out more about their social events and classes at saltlakesociety.com or stop by their brick and mortar on 300 West to shop fabrics and patterns. Chandler Rosenberg, one of the reasons that Terina Ria and I wanted to bring you here today is because we were fascinated by this story about Utah's future with agritourism. Not agrotourism, which is when you get mad at tourists. Agricultural.
Also a burgeoning industry.
No kidding. Agricultural tourism. There's reporting, of course, in the Utah News Dispatch that basically we have not yet reached our full potential when it comes to this form of tourism.
Full potential.
But we're doing pretty well. How much of that is just Ballerina Farm? I don't know. Mm-hmm. But like, what are you seeing? Because you work with farmers. You used to run the Utah Farmers Market Coalition. You have worked in food. Like, this is your beat.
Yeah, I still work closely with farmers through the Utah Food Coalition. I was actually at UDAF yesterday talking about a different report that they did. So UDAF, the Utah Department of Agriculture and Food, came out with a new study around agritourism and found that between 2002 and 2022, which is pre-Ballerina Farm, right? At least their main run, the industry grew by 600%, which is huge. And I think the growth is mostly coming from farms expanding their agritourism capacity. So maybe people are familiar with, I think it's, what is it called? Like the Cross E Ranch that does like the petting zoo in the spring.
Yeah.
That's agritourism. If
corn
you go to
maze?
a pumpkin patch, corn maze. Yeah.
Donuts.
So I've seen it at all different scales, and I have seen this industry grow pre-Ballerina Farm. I think farmers are trying to find ways to stay viable, and this is a good way to make money. Like, you're throwing events. Some of my friends that run Red Acre Farm down in Cedar City, they have a year-round CSA. They're growing food for their community. They sell at the market, but the margins are just tough in agriculture. And so people are pretty desperate to find ways to make additional money. And they rely heavily on, farm to table dinners. They do like a bikes and burgers and bands event once a month. So I think it's great. I think it's really interesting. I like the idea. I know UW's trying to, keep farmers in production, keep farmers farming. They also like that this offers a connection point to agriculture for the community. People right now are so disconnected from where their food comes from. And this is a way to build that connection back. So I think on that front, it's great. Let's get people to farms. Let's get people thinking about, where our food comes from, how we can support it. As soon as you know more about it, you're more willing to invest in it and protect it. On the flip side, I continue to ask myself, like, if this is the only way to keep agriculture viable, do we have bigger problems? I mean, the question that I always end with when we talk about any problem with agriculture is like, okay, well, what is agriculture for in Utah? How do we, what do we really want it? What do we want it for? And if farmers aren't making money growing their products, maybe there's some additional investments we could be making in switching crops or expanding markets or finding ways to make local food more accessible. So
yeah, interesting.
What do you guys think?
When I read the article, it just sounded like so familiar to like how Utah operates, because they were like, wow, this industry is really booming. Let's do more. How can we get more money out of it? And that is where it can get kind of scary. And you're just like, do we need to like maximum, profitize off of these industries? Like, is that success? Does that equal success? I don't know.
I think this has been like I grew up going to Wheeler Farm. They did a haunted, corn maze. So this feels very Utah to me and has been for a long time. I think maybe what's new, and I haven't read the study yet, but I think farming is getting harder and harder to do. And because of corporate takeover of agriculture and their global market, it's harder to make money. And so I think maybe farmers are increasingly desperate to find new ways, and they see this as something that they maybe hadn't considered before. And that's perhaps why we're seeing the growth. I also think just culturally, like ballerina farm or not, like this is kind of a cool thing to do. People are more interested in local food than ever before. It's fun to go out and be on a farm. So
sure.
Yeah.
It's also a very post-COVID like sort of
For
phenomenon.
Sure.
To be thinking about slow food, being in touch with your diet, being in touch with your food. Like, it's like the perfect convergence of everyone learning to make sourdough, embracing rustic, embracing the homestead during the pandemic, and health consciousness. It makes sense. The thing about it that I think is so interesting for Utah in particular is like, when I think about the most obvious form of agritourism that we've seen globally for decades, it's wine. Yeah. It's vineyards, right? Like, I myself have planned vacations to places like Slovenia and Georgia to go sit on vineyards and be part of like a winemaking process. And that was, that's just never going to be the economic future of our state, I think. And the other thing that's happening is that like globally, I don't know if you've seen this, but like wine sales have plummeted. Wine is down. The wine industry is suffering. Like, the younger generations are not drinking wine. They're not really interested in wine. And so that's tampering. And Utah, it feels like, is like so well poised to catch people who are not really interested in drinking, but do want to visit these like farm-like operations and make a trip of it, without actually having to have successful vineyards like California does.
I think that's why you see like popular agritourism in Utah is these like kid-friendly, family-friendly destinations, like these corn mazes and these pumpkin patches. We have such a big family culture here in Utah. So similar, like you said, Ali, they're kind of like, I don't know how successful a vineyard would be here, but our family attractions tend to do well.
Yeah. Go cuddle a cow.
Yes.
Yeah. And you get to like, pick fruit. You're hanging out outside. But if you don't like to hike, you don't have to do that. You can have a meal. I think it kind of hits on a lot of things for especially, the Utah family culture.
You can envy someone's acreage.
Yeah.
As you you're raising a family in a condo.
Yeah.
So I'm into it. I think my concern is just, I want to make sure that as a state, we are not prioritizing like, how can we make more money through agritourism rather than thinking. I was at UW yesterday for the release of a different report that was examining the local food system as a whole and the issues and the gaps. And we have huge problems in terms of like land protection and market infrastructure. So right now, producers aren't really able to scale larger than like small size. It's really hard to increase to more like wholesale sales and things like that. to make more money that way. And so I just want to make sure that this isn't coming at the expense of investing into opportunities for producers to expand their market reach.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, the thing that I found that was striking to me about like visiting the Ballerina Farm store is that what I imagine based on my experience being in there is actually their moneymaker is probably not the produce. It's like the tote bags.
The salt, the basket that's $100.
Which is just more stuff, right? It's like no different from any other form of consumerism. If what people are buying is the tote bag and not the corn or whatever, you know what I mean? And so it's like, how do we keep the focus on the actual produce or the actual like natural product and not just be enticing people to come and like buy more merch?
Yeah. And I think like no matter how much consumers become more interested in local food, like maybe they go for the basket in the Instagram post, but then they're like, oh, cute, like local spinach, I'll get that. And maybe that does, spark their interest. But I think until we have like more structural investments, small farms cannot compete with global corporations because of they control the government. So
yeah. Well, you can agritourism every Saturday at the downtown farmers market or every other Thursday at the new Central 9th farmers market. Shout out to them. So you can
agritourism is a verb.
Down the block a little bit, kind of.
I just wanted to shout out, I think a good example of agritourism is the Kidlands down in Riverton. I've been there a few times and it's always such a blast. Like they have a pumpkin patch every year. They have a farm shop that's actually reopening for the season today. So you should head down there. And then I've also been to like one of their farm to table brunches and it just is so lovely to sit in their greenhouse. You're like at these long tables next to other people and eating their like fresh food, and it's so good.
Yeah.
Maybe we should make a list. I can think of so many fun farms. Like Snuck Farm in Utah County is really beautiful.
Yeah.
There's Gracie's up in, I think, Camas.
Let's do it. Make us a list, Chandler, and we'll put it in the newsletter.
Oh, yeah.
I'll do it.
Okay. Perfect. CityCast Salt Lake contributor Chandler Rosenberg, newsletter editor Terina Ria. It's time for Pick of the Week. This is our favorite segment. We do it on Fridays. Something that we think is cool or just deserves a shout out, something we're looking forward to. Chandler, what about you? What's your Pick of the Week?
All right. Mine is Active Cultures, which is a new running culture pop-up. On 9th and 9th in the former Hathenbrook store, if y'all know where that is.
It's not an IBS cure?
No. Although I know they got the inspiration for the name from like a yogurt packet, which I also like that.
Yeah, that's cute.
So it's like a niche running store, pretty small, but really well curated. I'm a sucker for curation. I'm actually trying to get back into running. And so something like this is exactly what's going to motivate me. It was started by some friends of mine, and they are right now just popping up on weekends, July and August, but hoping to evolve into more of a long-term concept. But they're really, what I love about it, I'm a sucker for anything that's like trying to build a community around, niche, whatever it is.
Cool.
I think they're going to do some pop-up events. There's like a coffee, ice cream, maybe in the future wine pop-up right next door too called M's that's going to be opening. So there'll be like a little walk-up window, come hang out. So I haven't been yet. I'm going to check it out this weekend, but wanted to give a shout out.
Yeah, that's fun. Where is it? Hold on. I'm on their Instagram.
So it's like, if you know where Brass Smoothies was, it's back there.
Oh, yeah.
Behind Pizza No. Yeah. So 9th and 9th. Hang out on the block.
They got a nice write-up in Field Magazine. Wow, the store looks cute.
No, it's super cute. They've got, I think, some like not just running clothes, but there's like some gear, stickers, bags, all sorts of stuff. Fun. Local art too. So
yeah. Well, now that it's not 109 degrees anymore, you can go for a run.
Yeah.
Terina, what about you? What's your pick of the week?
Well, Sunday is National Ice Cream Day. So happy ice cream day to all who celebrate. So Hill's Kitchen is giving out free soft serve at their Sugar House location. So I can't think of anything, what's better than ice cream is free ice cream. So head there from noon to 2 p.m. I'm sure it's going to be busy, but get yourself some free ice cream.
Love that.
There was a line out the door of Hill's Kitchen the other day when I was driving through
Really?
Sugar House. And I couldn't figure out if there was something going on or if that's just their life now. They're that popular.
They're kind of popping.
I think it's kind of fun in there. I'm going there. I'm popping in and like taking my
Yeah.
computer. Sometimes I get a
Like a lot of
coffee,
people
sometimes
working.
lunch. Yeah. It's a well-designed interior.
It is a well-designed interior. I like it.
What about you, Ali? What's your pick of the week?
Well, my pick of the week was going to be a walking club. Should I stick with it or should I?
Oh,
Stick with it. No.
Okay.
yeah.
For the non-runners,
Running, walking.
I have like gone through phases where I try to run and inevitably I determined that I think, well, my party line is I'm too tall for this because my knees hurt.
Because your limbs are
You're shorter than me,
just
aren't you? How tall are you?
Wiling.
I'm not that tall,
No.
but I have this
It's a
complex
good line, though.
where
It's
I
a good
always
line.
think I'm the tallest person in every room.
You act that way for sure.
I'm
That's
like
your personality,
5'8" and a
so.
half. But I am a walker. Like
Yeah.
I could walk all day, every day, forever. If Stephen King's The Long Walk came to town, I would win for sure. And so I saw that there's this new walking club, the Mill Creek Walking Club. I think it's delightful. They are meeting every Tuesday and Saturday at 7:30 a.m. in front of Walcott Optical on Highland Drive. They've got this little QR code on their Instagram page where you can join their chat. But I think you can also just show up Tuesday, Saturday, 7:30 a.m. if you live in Mill Creek or if you don't, in front of Walcott Optical. They've got an email as well, which is millcreekwalkingclub@gmail.com. So if you want to meet some new people, if you also want to walk and like maybe have a little walk and talk while you do it.
Sounds so fun.
But
And
it
Mill
feels
Creek is so
good.
beautiful.
It feels so good to walk and like the feeling of like
Yeah.
just
Do you bring
limbs
weights?
flailing. I
Yeah.
do have hand weights and ankle weights that I sometimes will
that's
throw on when I'm walking my
nice.
dog, which is how I know that I've like fully aged.
Embrace it.
Fully. Okay. It is now time for our members only fourth segment. This is frankly paywalled because we need people in our membership program in order to support the show and keep it going. So you can join at membership.citycast.fm. We ask you for $10 a month or $100 a year. And so one of the benefits we offer you is this super secret little segment. We also offer ad-free listening. We send you every Monday a list of all the events happening in this city the whole week, other things. But the real reason that you're going to join is because you want to support this show. You want it to be around for a long time. I will tell you what we are talking about in today's segment is where to see the movie of the summer, The Odyssey, in IMAX. So stick with us if you are a member. Thank you so much. And if you're not, join. Chandler Rosenberg, Terina Ria, thanks for your time. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Ali.
Have a great weekend. Thanks, guys.
Before you go, listener, I need to ask you a favor, which is that we're doing our annual listener survey, and I need you to take it. I actually need 300 of you to take it, and I'm not going to stop asking until you do. So let's get this done today, please. If you go to citycast.fm/survey, you can find it's only about 7 minutes commitment. We timed it. So citycast.fm/survey, and I'll be transparent. Here's the reason we want you to do this. We want this show to serve you. We want to talk about the things that you care about. We want to lean in to the things that matter to you. We also want to be sure that our partners, our advertisers, our event venues, like all of those things are things that like meet your needs and interests, again, so that the show that we're making can be great for you. And to thank you for your time, you will be eligible to win a $250 Visa gift card and some CityCast Salt Lake swag. So citycast.fm/survey is the place to find it. I am absolutely begging you to take this survey, and I won't stop asking until we hit 300. So thank you so much. That is all for us today here on CityCast Salt Lake. Our executive producer is Emily Means. Our producers are Ivana Martinez and Matilde Urfalino. Our newsletter editors are Terina Ria and Brian Vance. Our audience development manager is Angie Treasure. I'm your host, Ali Vallarta. Music is by the local band Mitochondria with additional music from All the Kimonos, Arc de Soleil, Wendy Marcini, Sven Lindvall, Bagel, and Measlo. We will be back on Monday morning with more from around town. Have a great weekend.